6 mice die and go to heaven. God greets them at the gate with the same offer that he made to the cat. The mice said, all our lives we've had to run. Cats, dogs, and even women with brooms have chased us. If we could only have a pair of roller skates, we wouldn't have to run anymore. God says, say no more. And instantly, each mouse is fitted with a pair of tiny skates. About a week later, God decides to check and see how the cat is doing. The cat is sound asleep on his new pillow. God gently wakes him and asks, how are you doing? Are you happy here? The cat yawns, stretches, and says, oh, I've never been happier in my life. Those Meals on Wheels you've been sending me over the past are wonderful.
That is silly. That is silly. All right, I've been requested again to introduce the meeting for those that are on Zoom and watching on YouTube. This is March 3rd, 2025. We're Colonial Classics. I'm Marcia Hildebrand. So welcome. Okay, Lois, it's time for membership and treasurers report. And then after that will be birthdays.
It's March the 3rd. Good morning. Good to see all of you here. We have 21 members and one guest, well, actually 2 when we count our speaker. Nancy Cade is here with us today. We all know Nancy. And of course, Irene, we're so excited to have you here. So that's the membership. The finance, where did finance go? It's in the front. Yay. $302.34 is our balance, and we're all up to date on paying everything, and so that's good. Thank you. Are you headed toward the piano?
We only have 2 birthdays, so I'm watching Lois's progress. Okay, David Nixon, come on down. What did I say? Dixon? I said Nixon? Oh my gosh. Okay, here you go. His birthday, by the way, is the 23rd, and Becky's birthday will be the 30th, and she can come on down. And is there anyone who has been missed? I think you all look familiar, so I don't think you would have been on the list. So, Becky, I'll give you 2. Well, and I'll give David the other one. And now we sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, 26. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Thank you, thank you. I think you got your picture.
Yeah. All right, thank you. I have to ask, how many people are planning on going to the county line for lunch after our meeting today? And Irene, if you're able to go, we'll pay for you. All right, let me do a quick count. Raise your hands if you're going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's say 19, because I'm not sure I counted everybody right. And it looks like it's 19. Okay, and then other old business includes that in April our annual dues will be time for again. So it's $25 for the whole year per person. And you can write out a check to Chumsey. And in the bottom, on the bottom line, just put Colonial Classics. And next month at the meeting, you can give it to our treasurer, to Lois. And she'll deposit that for you. So we rely on the annual dues to pay for our year of everything we do. So anyway, other old business is that we now have our spring diaper drive in place. And you can bring disposable diapers of any brand or size to the meetings for the next few months. We'll take whatever is brought to our Wesley nurse and she'll get them to people in need. Okay, new business. Today is the day for election of officers and board members for the 25-26 year that starts the 1st of May. So last month we did our nominations and there weren't any other nominations from the floor. So I'm going to read the slate as presented by our nominating committee. And then if there are no objections, I would move that we elect all these unopposed candidates by acclamation. So it'll just be one vote and that's who we will have, unless there's any discussion after I read the slate. So the nominations are President, me, Marcia Hildebrand, Vice President Tony Hayes, Secretary Christine Schemmel, Treasurer Lois Armour, and members at large Cynthia Duval, Robert Herrick, and Barbara Moore. So if are there any objections to having one vote to elect all of these members? Do we need a motion? Christine made a motion to accept the slate or to as read, and then Lynn Berry. All right, all in favor? Opposed? All right, so we have our new old officers. All right, good. I think that's all we have for news because we want to get right to our program. Oh, I have just a couple of things to mention super quick though. I did hear from a few of you that you're not getting the emails, newsletters. Is there anybody else here that hasn't spoken to me who's not getting the newsletter by email that I need to check on? Okay, I'll just make sure that those that I've spoken to will get it in the future. All right, and then I did also hear a prayer request for Georgina. She apparently had a fall and suffered an injury just recently. So keep her in your prayers too. Prayer request for Ellen. Ellen's having medical struggles right now too, and she's really taken a toll on her and her family. So, yes, she is. So please keep those members and others that we're not aware of in your prayers. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce church member and registered nurse and physiologist and whatever else she wants to call herself. Irene Lopez is going to present our program. Irene, thank you for being here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. All right, well, first thing I'm gonna do is just kind of move this out of my way just for a second, just because I need a little room. I kind of like to move around. I think this might be a little loud. Okay, there we go. I was wondering, it was a little bit loud. I don't plan to get super loud, but sometimes I get real excited and then I start talking and everything. So before we do any of that stuff, real quick, if you'll help me out, okay? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. All right, just checking, making sure you're all here. All right, good. I know you're here. That helps me out a little bit. Okay, yes. My name is Irene Lopez. You may know the Lopez family here in the church, but you may not know that we're all related because I have a daughter, Isabella, and she's the director of youth ministries, and she comes up here and does announcements. And then there's this guy, Mr. Gus Lopez. You may know him. He's the guy who runs around and turns things on and off and unlocks and locks and all that good stuff. And right now he's in the back. And believe it or not, I'm married to that guy over there. Yeah, that's him snickering. He's like, yeah, and that's our daughter. So we're all a family, but we all come in different cars. I don't know how that works out, but that's us. All right, so what I am here to talk to you today about, and I hope to make it fun. Who knows? Y'all may hate me by the time we're done with this. So I'm a registered nurse and I'm an exercise physiologist. And Marcia came to me, I'm thinking after you saw my YouTube channel and thought, hey, this is a good idea. So I have a YouTube channel. Believe it or not, I'm 57 years old. I know, right? Anyway, don't laugh that hard. It's okay. So I have a YouTube channel as we get older, and I'm getting there. I joined the 50 and over club several years ago. It's time to really focus on what we maybe haven't been focusing on in the past, and that's just our general health. What do we do now? Is it too late? What's going on with me? no way am I going to try and talk y'all into, hey, yeah, I will do a marathon. No, we're not going to do any of that today. But I think really my point today is to maybe help you understand that A, B, C move. Any body can move. Anybody can move. Okay. And again, I am not talking about going and doing a marathon or doing the ultra cycling or any of that nonsense. Okay. This is just even some basic information in the event you maybe fall down and need to figure out how am I going to get up. Okay. I want to show you a video if it's queued up and ready to go, my man. All right. Watch this. I hope, yeah. And this is actually a pretty impressive video. This is not me, by the way. Yeah, I can stand, but that's all right. So lay flat, hands behind your head. 65 years old, turning back over. No hands. Leg up, back up. By the end of today, we're all going to do that, okay? No, we're not doing that either, but nobody's swinging a kettlebell. All right, thank you very much. The idea is, yes, there are things that we can do right now to help us maybe, even prevent falls, okay? Because, falls are a big deal, and I'm not going to talk about just falls. I'm talking about, general body strength, general aerobic conditioning, okay? And so if you don't have a place to start, this may be the time to do it. So how do you get started? All right, well, you got to know where you are so you can know where you're going. And you got to know where you've been to know where you are. Does that kind of make a little sense, or am I just talking blah, 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 right? Okay, so if you're going to start today, there are some things that you can definitely do today or tomorrow or next Monday, whatever day that you choose to start doing something. There are some basic measurements to do. I'm all about goals, okay? So yes, I work for university and we're all about goals and outcomes and process and blah, blah, blah. But I'll tell you what, if you don't have a goal, if you don't know where you're going, how do you know when you get there, right? So we all got to start with a goal, whatever that may be. And before we even start, we got to know where we are right now. So there are a couple of tests, and when I put my phone away, I'll get that in a second. There are a couple of tests that you can do right now, all right, to see where you are, all right? If anybody wants to volunteer, maybe. Do I get lots of, will you volunteer with me? All right, come on over here, please. Let me get my phone. If you would, have a seat on there. All right. All right, Miss Nancy, do you have any lifting restrictions? Like don't lift, don't pick up more than so many pounds or anything like that? All right, go ahead and have a seat. Are you right-handed? Yes. All right. So, oh, wow. No, don't worry. It's not going to hurt. I promise. Much. So one of the things that she's going to do, there is a test, if it will open up for me. It's called a senior curl test. So in the seat, I'm going to hand her a 5-pound dumbbell. All right. Now, don't tell my boss I brought these from work because, I don't know. I'll take them back. I promise. All right. So I'm going to give this to you in your right hand. You're going to rest that on your leg. All right. Go ahead and turn that facing up. So for 30 seconds, her job is going to be to lift that towards her shoulders and back down. Just back up and down to your shoulder for 30 seconds, as many times as you can. Okay. Keep going. All right, so I will count there 1, because I just started my watch, 2, 3, and I will show you guys in a second. 4 and 5. Help her up, help her out, cheer her on. She's got like 20 seconds left. Let's go. Three more seconds left. And stop. All right. Thank you. Give her a round of applause. All right. All right. Thank you. You can go ahead and have a seat. So, oh, let me ask you something real quick. I know this is really personal. What is your age?
Tried to figure that out this morning.
70. 73. Okay. 73. And she did, I counted 21 reps. That's what she did. And so there is a web page that has results and charts and stuff. So for her age, population average, I counted she did 22. Population average for her age, 17. She has a good rating and the score of 84. How about that? Yeah. And you think, well, that's just one muscle, one side, whatever, but it is an indicator of your overall upper body strength. Okay. So that's great. Now I need another volunteer. Does anybody want to come up and show me something else? All right, come on up, Miss Marie, come on up. All right, let's see. Where are you? No way. Seriously, all right, go ahead. Let's get you to have a seat there. All right, great. Now, how tall are you? Because this actually doesn't necessarily have anything to do with this, but it does. 5 foot, me too. Excellent, nice. We actually shorter have an advantage when we're doing this test because we don't have to stand up as far. So your job, seriously, if you're tall, this is a tough one to do. All right, your job for 30 seconds, what you're going to want to do is scoot to the front of the chair. And so that your feet are out in front and flat on the ground, give a little space between your legs. Yeah, that's it. Now, no hands. You got to cross them up above you like so. For 30 seconds, her job is going to be to stand and sit down as many times as you can in 30 seconds, whenever you're ready. So she's going to keep going. And she is going to finish up very strong. Keep on going, 20 more seconds. Yes, ma'am. Keep going. 5 seconds left. And stop. Excellent, excellent. Give it up. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Grandma.
No, 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 no. Thanks, Grandma. No, no, no. So I got a count of 17 repetitions for her age group. She actually had the population average, people can only do 12 of those. And she got an excellent 88 score rating. So give that up, yeah? So for my 2 volunteers, I want to award you. I want to give you a special prize if that's okay. Dun, 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 dun. So that was that was a nice test of leg strength. Again, something else. If you're down on the floor, if you notice that gal in the video, she didn't use her hands at all. She was using core, she was using legs, that sort of stuff. So those are really good indicators for you to start with. Okay, it's a 30-second sit stand and a 30-second arm curl, dominant hand. For women, you're going to use 5 pounds. For men, you're going to use 8 pounds. If you don't have that at home, whatever you have is going to be just fine. Okay. Yeah, 5 pounds is just fine. It's just you're going to retest with that same amount. Okay, if you have a 3 pound, heck, even the 16-ounce water bottle is 1 pound. So if you don't have weights and you've got a 16-ounce water bottle, this is 1 pound. 16 ounces, 1 pound. All right, so the other place to start, maybe you do, maybe you don't want to worry about it. That's fine as well. People worry about their weight a lot. Every January, I'm going to lose weight. Okay, January 2022, I'm going to lose weight. January 2023. You know it. I want to lose weight, right? Okay. You've got to set it specific. How much, by when, how realistic, that sort of thing. Okay. So it's not only about weight, there's a situation that will happen. And I mean, it really does happen. I see it where I work. Patients will come in, we get their body composition, we have this special scale, and for 2 months, they're working out hard. They're on the treadmill 30 minutes, and they go and they get on the weights, and they do their routine perfectly. And you see the shirt fits better, and you know they look slimmer in their face, and they get on the scale and see exact same number. What happened? What happened? Muscle, that's right. They lose body fat and they gain muscle. And this particular patient I'm thinking about, he lost 4 pounds of body fat, gained 4 pounds of muscle. So we were able to show him that. With this scale we have, it's pretty phenomenal. It's pretty expensive. So not all of us can have that at home. What you can do is use a tape measure. And there's 2 important places to measure. So you'll get your body weight, and you will find that little bone and your belly button, okay? And in the middle is your abdomen measurement. It's not a waist, it's an abdomen measurement. There's a special kind of body fat called visceral body fat. You've ever heard that visceral feeling? I had that feeling in my gut, that visceral feeling. Well, visceral fat is the stuff that's real deep on the inside. There's 2 types of fat. If you can pinch it out here, this is subcutaneous. It's under sub the skin, cutaneous, okay? But the stuff inside, visceral, you can't get it with liposuction, you can't pinch it, you can't do anything, but you can measure it. So if you measure your abdomen and you notice after a month or 2 that that measurement comes down, you're losing visceral fat, which is fantastic. That's the kind of fat that's associated with diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, that sort of thing. And losing just 5% of your total body weight and measurement drops, you've decreased the risk of having any of those diseases or any consequences of having those diseases. So it's really nice to measure that. The other one you can measure is the abdomen and then the hips. And so you find where that hip bone is. It's there. Got the hip bone, you go across your gluteus, and you measure across your hip, and that's your hip measurement. So those 2 measurements, your hip and abdomen, and you will then divide the abdomen measurement by the hip measurement. You'll see it online. It's called waist to hip measurement. And there, whatever the result is for male and female, it will tell you where you are as far as body fat percentage-ish. It gives you a pretty good estimate. Because again, you may be doing all the right things, eating well, exercising, and doing all that, and you'll find out that the weight hasn't changed, but your measurements have, and that's a good thing. So quick quiz. True or false? Muscle weighs more than fat. How many people true by show of hands? Wow, okay. Let's do a math measure. Let's do a math test. Does the number 4 equal the number 4? Are they the same? Yeah, so 4 pounds equals 4 pounds. And it doesn't matter if it's 4 pounds of muscles or 4 pounds of fat. The thing is, volume, nailed it, bingo, ding, ding, ding. You want a medal? I get you a medal. I get you that. That's good. That's exactly right. Muscle is very dense. It's like a tiny little fishing weight. Yeah, if you've ever been fishing, little tiny fishing weight, just like that. Body fat are like cotton balls, very fluffy. Imagine all the cotton balls you'd need to accumulate to equal the little fishing weight. That's exactly how it is with body fat and muscle. And that's why you don't lose weight per se on the scale, but your clothes fit better. That's what it is. They weigh the same. So, so find out where you are today. Start somewhere. And then if you have a goal, definitely, set that and make it realistic. Be specific. Make sure you can measure that goal. I want to lose 10 pounds. Great. Now let's set a time. I want to do that in 2 months. Okay, that's great. You got to set your time. It's got to be realistic. I actually had a patient come to me and says, I need to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks because I have a class reunion. And I was like, oh, no. That's not realistic. I mean, unless you get sick and you're under a doctor's care or something, no. So you've got to be realistic too about what you think you can achieve. Start small, start short. Don't go big and crazy and make these crazy, amazing goals. I had one time a thought that I was going to ride my bike to work. I used to work over here at the hospital. I was going to ride every day. I think I did it twice a week at most, if that, for a little while. Yes. And if you set unrealistic goals, all that does is make you feel bad that you didn't accomplish anything. When in fact, you've probably accomplished more than other people. And anytime you get up and off the couch, you're doing more than the person who didn't. So that's another thing to think about. Now, exercise, again, doesn't have to be crazy. Walking is one of the easiest, basic, most simplest things to do. Well, yeah. What's the big thing they tell you to do? 30 minutes, 5 days out of the week if possible. Okay. Some people may not be able to get up and walk 30 minutes right away, and that's absolutely okay. We call it exercise snacking at work, and we absolutely endorse snacking in that way, not the chips and the dips, okay? Exercise snacking. And what you can do is break up that 30-minute walk to 3 10-minute walks in the day. 10 in the morning, 10 midday, 10 in the afternoon. And then maybe add a minute after 2 weeks, 11, 11, 11, and then 12, 12, 12. And as you start to feel more fit, maybe do 24 and 24. Whatever it is that you feel you can do, give it a shot. Research, there's a research thing. Now, I love, okay. So as Marcia said, there may be other things that she didn't mention that I am. I am an absolute nerd. I will read anything about research. And there was this great study. They took 2 groups of people who were pre-diabetic. And one group, they said, every day after your last meal, you're going to walk 45 minutes every day. The other group, they said, every day after work, well, every day you're going to walk 45 minutes, but you're going to do 15 minutes after breakfast, 15 minutes after lunch, 15 minutes after dinner. And they did it for, I think it was like 3 months, 12 weeks. What they found was the group that broke their walks down controlled their blood sugar better. They progressed less into diabetes. They had better outcomes than the group that did 45 minutes. They both worked 45 minutes a day. They both did their walk. But if you can break it down, sometimes that might be better for you in the end. So now, another question, another quiz. Oh, Irene, I hate you. Yes, that's fine. Okay, another quiz. True or false? Activity and exercise are the same thing. Nobody wants to answer now. False. Okay, false. Absolutely. Okay, they're completely different. Exercise is just what I've been describing. Walking, riding a bike, swimming, water aerobics, those kinds of things. Anything that increases your heart rate for an extended period of time using large muscle groups in a rhythmic fashion. That's exercise. Activity. I have patients who are wait staff. They work construction. They work at Amazon. They're on their feet all the time, moving, coming and going. But that's not necessarily controlled exercise. I have folks that garden, take care of their yard, walk their dog twice a day. That's being very active as well. Turns out we need both. Another research study. All right, I know, I'm telling you, I'm a nerd, David, I'm telling you. So 2 groups of marathon runners. Okay, marathon people, you would think they're the healthiest people in the world, right? They're skinny as all get out. I don't understand that. I do, but I don't understand it. So they took these 2 groups of marathon runners and they followed their activity habits. There was a group of marathon runners that after the same training plan, they both followed the same training plan. After they were done, they were active, whether it was washing the car, walking the dog, doing the yard, gardening, things like that. And then the other marathon group training had the same training plan. They were sedentary, spent more time watching TV, they were on their phone, on the computer, didn't get around up and do things, okay? Turns out they had a higher mortality rate than the folks that did the exact same marathon training plan, but also stayed active. So it's really important to not just exercise, but be active in your daily activities. I actually learned something from one of my patients that she told me. She said her mom taught her every day before you go to bed, try and do just one more thing, whether it's put up the dishes or fold the towels or set the cup. Just try and do one more thing before you go to bed at night. I've actually taken that to heart. I kind of like that idea, that thought. You got to do just one more little thing to make sure that you can stay active. All right. And let's see, where was I going to go next? I promised I was going somewhere with that. I'm 57, so I can use that as an excuse. I don't remember. Okay, anyway, I'm so sorry. Does anybody have any questions right now while I'm just like blah, 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 talking junk? Anybody? Nobody? Not right now? Okay. Exercise and activity. Thank you, David. Okay, thank you so much. I was talking about exercise and activity. So again, exercise can be anything. If the weather gets bad outside, I actually brought an example of a game that you can play that's actually exercise for you if you are interested. We call it at work the deck of cards game. I also call it two-card pickup. No, I also call it a way to clear out your Thanksgiving guests. If you want to get rid of them early, I promise you. So I found this online. It is an example of exercises that are associated with the suit of your cards. All right. Diamonds are jumping jacks. Nobody's jumping. I guarantee you that. Hearts are chair sit-ups. Spades are sit stands, and clubs are wall push-ups. So for jumping jacks, there's two modified ways you can do it. You just tap to the side and bring your arm up, tap to the other side, bring your arm up. That's a nice way to do modified jumping jack. If you don't think it'll make you tired, you want to do 10 of them. Anyway, there's that one. And then the other modification that we do for folks, I have patients that are mobility impaired and can't get out of their wheelchair. It's a starfish. And if you do this 10 times, I guarantee you, you're going to pick up your heart rate. So the idea is you take that deck of cards, you pick a card and it says 6 of spades. That would be 6 sit stands. You complete the 6 sit stands, discard that, you move along. Next one. Oh, 3 more squats. You get to do 3 more sit stands, et cetera, et cetera. 1 jumping jack. And so Joker, I make my patients do something else at work. We make them do a lap around the building. It's like, go and come back. That's it. So that's their little extra. Another Joker. Wow, they would hate me today. Kings, we don't use face cards. But the idea is you can still move. You can still do something at home. We're talking about push-ups. I know you think, well, wall push-ups, that's kind of boring. Just stand there in front of the wall. You're still strengthening your upper body muscles. Again, in the event you fall, you may not be able to push yourself up completely off the ground, but you might be able to get yourself to a chair that can then help you stand up as you push yourself up off a chair. Okay. Leg strength, that's what the sit stand is. And that chair sit up, it's a really nice way. I know I got people that can't get down on the ground. And so this is a really nice sit up, keeping feet on the ground, leaning back before touching the back of the chair, and then coming forward. You want to make this hard, grab that dumbbell and put it on your chest, and that'll give you a little bit of resistance. So again, how to clear Thanksgiving out. That's a good one right there. Yeah, and then let's see. So we got that one. Walking is always a good one. And the last source that I would give you, San Antonio Fitness in the Park, the city of San Antonio's Park and Rec. Fantastic program. They have this year-long program called Fitness in the Park. Any type of exercise, any park in the city, any time of day, absolutely free. Even water aerobics. They have water aerobics free, the San Antonio Natatorium downtown. I've done several of their classes. They have different levels. They have full yoga down on the ground. They also have modified chair yoga. Their arthritis class is a really good class to do. I know for folks with both osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, it can be really hard to move, especially if the weather changes, that sort of thing. The thing I can tell you about that, when you move your joints, no matter what joint it is, you release synovial fluid. That release of synovial fluid is like motor oil for the body part, and it makes that feel great. And so even if you get up and start moving just a little bit, you'll start feeling better, and then you'll want to go out and run that marathon, maybe. No? Okay. All right. I thought David's thinking about it, right? Oh, yeah, sure. So arthritis exercise, water aerobics, it's a great way. Water is funny and tricky. Water helps increase your buoyancy so you don't feel like you're real heavy in the water and you're going to go. But water is also resistance. So as even you try and walk in that water, it's giving you a little bit of resistance exercise as well. Yeah, and that will increase your heart rate. Lots of different ways to move, lots of different ways to get rid of your Thanksgiving guests, lots of different ways to make yourself feel better. I don't necessarily like talking about nutrition because that gets real personal. I mean, people are like, well, we do know how to eat already. Okay, then I would just suggest if you know how to eat well, continue doing so. There's lots of good resources. I would stay away from online stuff as far as nutrition is concerned. The apple cider vinegar, I had a patient who told me one time, oh, I'm drinking apple cider vinegar now. I'm like, how's that going for you? She's like, what do you mean? I said, well, what are you drinking it for? She said, well, I don't know. I'm just supposed to drink it. I said, okay, is it for your blood sugars, body weight? What is it for? How's it going for you? So again, it's that whole thing. You got to have a goal. Why are you doing these things? Okay. Apple cider vinegar, intermittent fasting. It's kind of, they're showing some different research about, yes, it's good. No, it doesn't matter. We do intermittent fasting anyway. When we're asleep, we're not eating, right? And that's what it means when you wake up in the morning, you're breaking the fast of not eating overnight. So there's that. And anything that eliminates a specific part of your nutrition, keto, like you're not eating carbohydrates anymore. We need them for a reason. It's just the quality of the carbohydrate. You know, a whole wheat bagel versus a donut. I mean, they're both carbs, but you know, pick the quality that's going to be good for you. Don't eliminate anything if you have to. And I think that's it, really. I mean, I don't know what else I can tell you about. You guys have any questions about any of this? Yes, ma'am. I see you in the back. I have a YouTube channel. YouTube. So you just get on YouTube and in the search thing, you put in Aqua Velo Gal. AQUA. I will spell it for you. I guess I should have put it up there. AQUA VELO, one word, Aquavelo. I swim and I bike at Gal, GAL, Aquavela Gal. Yeah, and I touch on all these subjects, and I also talk about menopause as well. I think there's a lot that is being missed in that population. So I hit on that as well. So yes, sir. Dehydration. So like how to avoid getting there, or what happens when you get there, that sort of thing. Okay. Oh yeah. So you take your body weight, and I'm 57 years old. There you go. Catch that one. Or not. Okay. So you take your body weight, divide it in half, and that's how many ounces of water you should be drinking. Okay. So a person who's 150 pounds should be drinking about 75 ounces. Okay. That's just a general rule. Lots of things change when you add medication, especially like water pills. Lots of things change when you add in chronic conditions, especially when it affects your kidneys, things like that. But more or less, your body weight in pounds divided in half should be the ounces in fluid. So yeah, it seems to be a lot, right? Start low, don't put it all in there. And yes, that's what people tell me all the time. They're like, oh, but when I start drinking water, I have to go to the bathroom. Well, yes, you do. That's what we have to. We need to do that. And your body gets used to it. And so you start drinking your water, and for a few days, your body may be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing to me? And so, yes, you'll be voiding frequently. And then your body be like, oh, okay, I'm going to get water now more frequently. I'm going to get the volume I need, and your body will get used to it, and you may not have that urgency so much. So definitely something to try. Yes, sir. Ah, yeah, Dr. Google. When you're supposed to. So when to drink your water? I sip all day long. This bottle, I carry it with me. I drink about 3 of these throughout the day, plus whatever I'm drinking with my meals or something like that. So the other thing about dehydration and Texas and crazy weather and oh my gosh, it's hot kind of stuff. I love the heat. I love the heat more than the cold. I hate the cold more than I love the heat, but I love the heat. So a lot of people want to think about, oh, Gatorade, I'll drink some Gatorade. You know, hey, the athletes drink it, it must be great. You know, oh, there's Powerade, that's fantastic. Those things have as much sugar as a soda. And the equivalents that are non-sugar or sugar-free, those are great because they do have electrolytes, and that's fine. Powerade has their non-sugar. Gatorades, I think, is called G2, something like that. Those are better because they don't have as much sugar, but I wouldn't worry about replacing electrolytes if you're perspiring, if you're not doing anything for longer than an hour. An hour, water should suffice. Okay, that should be, but if you're outside doing something for longer than an hour, whether it's a family activity or you're doing the yard, whatever it is. After about an hour, if you're pouring out sweat, you definitely can do some electrolyte replacement at that point. So, yes, sir. Oh.
13 steps,
Uh-huh.
and I do that 6 times. I try to do it every day.
Okay.
What do you think of that exercise?
So I think that's great. Are you doing it all at one time? Are you breaking that up? How long does it take you? Those kinds of things.
About 6 minutes.
Takes you about to do it 6 times a minute down, minute up?
That's 26 steps in 6 minutes. Well, it's 6 times 26 steps.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes me about 6 minutes.
That's fantastic, actually. And you could probably, if you wanted to maybe do that 3 times a day, then, once in the morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever, if you're able to, then you've now added that and it's now 18 times or 18 minutes total exercise. That's great. Oh my gosh, I quit. Wow. Well, congratulations to you. Yeah. I mean, that's fantastic if you're able to do that. And I think even getting to the top of the steps at the end, you're probably still,
Yeah.
yeah, but you're not choking, you're not gasping, you're not fainting. I think that's a really big indicator. If you're ever exercising and you suddenly feel like you can't catch air or dizzy or you're getting a little ping, it's probably a signal to stop, take a minute. And if it resolves, great, let your doctor know soon after that, hey, this happened to me. If it continues, for sure, call for medical help. But that's fantastic. That is super fantastic. Wow. Yes, ma'am.
To hear your thoughts on some programs like senior yoga and Tai Chi and
Okay.
Sit and Be Fit.
Okay. Senior yoga, I think, is fantastic. Anytime you can maintain flexibility in the muscle groups around the joints, that's great. Anytime you can do that, the modified versions are really good. Again, there's some folks that can't get down on the ground, can't do certain positions. That's fine. The modified yoga is great. I teach Tai Chi. It is a fantastic leg strength and balance exercise. You also, Tai Chi is referred to as meditation in motion. You're breathing at certain points. You're focusing on the choreography of the movement, and they're very simple movements for Tai Chi. They're not at all, they're not even like low impact. Like we're taking small steps as we're doing our movements in Tai Chi. And you're learning to feel the ground. I know that sounds weird, but with your feet, you're feeling the ground. Where am I in this moment? Yeah, and then you're having to focus on the movements that you're doing for Tai Chi too. So you're using your brain, using that frontal cortex to remember what the next step is. So Tai Chi is fantastic. Sit and Be Fit. We teach that, our arthritis exercise class that we teach on Mondays. That class is very much a sit and be fit type class. And I know a lot of people look at it and they're like, but you're sitting down. I challenge you, do 45 minutes of that gal on channel 9, the KLRN. Those are fantastic movements. Again, she's not just moving her joints through the range of motion, but she's like increasing her heart rate, and using bands or dumbbells going to strengthen that muscle and bone, by the way. As you work on your muscles, you're also strengthening the bone. That's a really good class too. That's a nice aerobic movement class, Sit and Be Fit, aerobic, get your heart rate up, and strength training in all at once. The Sit and Be Fit, yeah, 1 o'clock on KLRN. Yeah. So, and I highly recommend it. Again, if you're like, give it a shot, try it, and then tell me how it went. Because we had to learn how to teach the class, and it really worked a lot of us, so. Anything else? No? What time is lunch? I'm kidding. I have to get back to work. I have things to take care of and stuff. But yeah, any questions, stop me one morning. If you see me, grab me, ask me whatever you need. And if you get a chance, check out my channel. You can leave comments and, what did it mean by whatever? Absolutely. So, okay. Well, thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's use this one.
Thank you so much, Irene. We have a thank you card for you for coming. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, our next meeting is going to be Monday, April 7th, and we have an adult librarian from Cody Library coming to talk to us about programs that the library has to offer and other interesting facts. So with that, let's have Lynn come up and give us a blessing for our meal and other thoughts that she may have for us today.
It was on my mind how wonderfully God made us. Thank you, Irene, for that. And certainly when we think about the universe and how so many things are synchronized and the way our body works and keeping ourselves kind of synchronized, even when she said the word grounded. Yeah, that's kind of basic with our balance, isn't it? All that. And to God, I give that glory. Now we'll have our blessing for our meal. Heavenly Father, thank you for your wonderful design. Thank you for the food. Thank you for the way it nurtures and nourishes our body to help keep us healthy. Give us the strength that we need day by day. We ask your blessings on each of us and those around the world, those that are your followers and those that need to know about you. We thank you for your love and your grace. We bless the food to the nourishment of our body and us to your service. Amen.
All right, just a reminder, make sure you pick up jigsaw puzzles, books, Fiesta medals. Those medals are all belong to Ellen, and Barbara brought them today to share with y'all. She's anxious to have them go to good homes. So, all right, well, then our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.